Emedion James, coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government says anti-corruption agency is not instrument of political witch hunt. DSS arraigned 9 prime suspects in Benue Plateau killing. Plus, Putin speaks with Vietnam president in final scheduled Beijing meeting. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. The news are from the national scene where the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has refuted allegations that the federal government is using anti-corruption agencies to go after political opponents. The denial followed recent accusations by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who claimed that President Bola Tinubu's administration was weaponizing the Economy and Financial Crimes Commission to undermine the opposition ahead of the 2027 general elections. In a statement, Atiku alleged that anti-corruption agencies were being used to harass, intimidate and dismantle opposition elements, warning that such action posed a threat to Nigeria's democracy. However, while speaking today at the opening of the ICPC Roundtable Engagement on Agenda Setting for Strategic Integration of State Commissioners of Information in the Fight Against Corruption, held in Abuja, Idris stressed that the Tinubu administration remains committed to allowing anti-graft agencies to operate independently without political interference. The minister further emphasized the president's resolve to eliminate corruption from public institutions, insisting that there will be no safe haven for corruption in Nigeria. In the meantime, the federal government has declared Friday, September 5, 2025, a public holiday to mark Eid al-Mawlid, the birth of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. This was contained in a statement issued by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, in Abuja. According to the statement, the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, extended warm greetings to Muslims in Nigeria and across the world. He urged the Muslim Ummah to emulate the Prophet's virtues of peace, love, humility, tolerance, and compassion, stressing that these values are crucial to building a united and progressive nation. The minister also called on Nigerians of all faiths to use occasions to pray for the peace, security and stability of the country while supporting government's effort towards national harmony and sustainable development. Meanwhile, the federal government has kick-started the training, certification and job placement of 100,000 construction artisans across Nigeria. According to report, the training will be implemented in partnership with Polaris Capital Limited, as formalized through a memorandum of understanding on Tuesday. The 3-year initiative will be funded through federal budget allocations, private sector's investment and donor contributions. It also includes a digital booking and verification platform that will connect artisans directly to job opportunities while generating revenue to sustain the program beyond the MOU period. The signing ceremony concluded the official endorsement of the MOU by the Permanent Secretary of Housing and Urban Development Ministry, Dr. Shaibu Belgora, on behalf of the Ministry, and Vishi Hima on behalf of the Polaris Capital Limited. A statement by the ministry said the development marked the launch of the nationwide initiative to bridge skill gaps in housing and construction sector. In a separate development, the Nigerian Customs Service Board (NCS) has promoted 3,312 officers as it collected 3.68 trillion naira in the first half of the year 2025. The board has also approved the appointment of 4 Deputy Comptroller Generals and 12 Assistant Comptroller Generals in a bid to strengthen the leadership structure of the service. The regular meeting of the NSSB chaired by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. The newly appointed DCGS are AB Mohammed Northwest, GO Omale North Central, OC Orbi South South, and D Nadi Southeast. Also, the newly appointed ACGS are MP Binga Northwest, CA Awo Southeast, and AB Shiaibu North Central, amongst others. In another development, the Department of State Services DSS has arraigned 9 individuals identified as prime suspects in connections in Benue and Plateau State. The suspects were arraigned today at the Federal High Court of Abuja. The suspected gunmen arrested with 7 M16 rifles. Aruna Damu and Mohammed Abdullahi, both from Aware local government area in Nasarawa State, are facing a 4-count charge in connection with the killings in Abisi and Yelwata villages, Goma local government area of Benue State. Both suspects were alleged to have committed the offense on June 14, 2025, in collaboration with others who are yet to be arrested. Here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has said hospitality facilities belonging to the state government will no longer be run at a loss under his administration. Governor gave the assurance while fielding questions from Government House correspondents shortly after his inspection tour of the ongoing renovation of facilities at the Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort. The governor, who said the state has numerous hospitality facilities including the Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort, the 4 Point by Sheraton in Ikotekbene, the ongoing Arise Resort and facilities in Lagos and Abuja, insisted that they must be strategically managed as profit-making ventures. Governor therefore called on indigenous professionals, hoteliers, both at home and in diaspora, to look inward and be part of the Akwa Ibom hospitality brand.
Mock-up room. There's always a mock-up room that you see, but we've made our suggestions. The beautiful thing is that the contractor is on site. Once we sort this out, I'm told we should be able to deliver the first 40 rooms in October. So we should start using it in December, preparatory for Christmas, before we see how to shut down. We are doing it in phases. And you also know that this facility has been there in the last couple of years, and so there was need for a complete overhaul. But what's more important to me is how this hotel runs after the overhaul. We will never run at a loss again. That is the most important thing. We can put so much money into facilities like this and they keep reporting losses because we want an international brand. We can be our own brand. And I'm asking the management to ensure that we have a group management in place for our hospitality assets in the state so that we can develop our brand. Ibom Air was no brand 5-6 years ago, but today it's a brand to be reckoned with. You can create your brand. We all have our identity. Akwa Ibom has an identity in hospitality already. It's for us to develop that. And so I've told the leaders that, honestly, we need to cut to the cheese. I will not put the amount of money I'm putting in here and I'm told this facility will run at a loss. And we're not giving it out to any contract management. We will develop our brand, and I'm prepared to bring all sons and daughters of Akwa Ibom and people outside Akwa Ibom who have the expertise to come and run this place. Fortunately, hospitality is my field, and nobody can convince me that you run at a loss in the hospitality business. Nobody can tell me that something is wrong, and we are determined to address that. We're just coming to see the mock-up room.
The governor, who explained that he came to see the prototype rooms to ensure its readiness for usage come December as expected, disclosed that the ongoing upgrade of facilities in the hotel will be done in phases to meet up its total overhaul. In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has said the annual state anniversary Thanksgiving service will hold on Sunday, September 21, 2025 at the International Christian Worship Center. The governor made this known at the Government House monthly covenant service held at the Banquet Hall, Government House, Uyo. He said the Thanksgiving service is expedient given the countless blessings of God upon the state since its creation. He said there were numerous projects at different stages of completion, adding that the state under his leadership will continue to do its best to further on the development trajectory. The governor emphasized on the need for everyone to get to work as a panacea to the socio-economic challenges, saying that Akwa Ibom State was not operating on a communist philosophy and no form of grant or palliative can be sustainable. We move now to Africa, where Sudan appealed for international aid on Tuesday after a landslide wiped out an entire village in the western region of Darfur, killing an estimated 1,000 people in one of the deadliest natural disasters in the African country's recent history. The village of Tarasin was completely leveled to the ground, the Sudan Liberation Movement Army said, as it appealed to the UN and international aid groups for help to recover the bodies. Reports say the tragedy happened Sunday in the village, located in central Darfur Mara Mountains, after days of heavy rains. Abdel Wahid Noah, the group's leader, made an appeal on Tuesday for international help. Still in Africa, UN officials called for the government of Cameroon to ensure free and transparent elections, citing several recent incidents that raised concerns about the country's upcoming elections, where President Paul Biya will seek an 8th term in office. During the bi-weekly press briefing in Geneva, Jeremy Lawrence, the spokesperson for the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, warned of rising restrictions on the activities of opposition political parties in the lead-up to the election, including the ban of certain gatherings, the exclusion of some political figures, and the rise and irregularities in voter registration. Recall that the 92-year-old president announced in July that he would seek re-election, ending speculations that he might step aside. Cameroon's second president since independence from France in 1960, Biya has been in power since 1982. Biya is Africa's second longest-serving president after Teodora Obiang of Equatorial Guinea is frequently sick and abroad. On the foreign scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin has talked with the president of Vietnam, Loc Kyong, today in the last scheduled meeting of Putin's trip to Beijing. According to Kremlin, the Vietnamese leader told Putin that every Vietnam citizen values the great and the kind assistance that the Soviet Union and Russia provided when the country fought for its freedom. Kyong congratulated Russia on the great achievements it has made over the past time, adding that under Putin's leadership, Russia will become great and a pillar of protection, peace, justice, and stability. So on the foreign scene, U.S. Federal Appeal Court ruled Tuesday against President Donald Trump's use of wartime law to deport alleged Venezuela's gang members and blocked its use in some southern states. Trump first invoked the 1798 Alien Enemies Act on March 15 and flew 2 plane loads of alleged members of the Tren de Aragua gang to El Salvador's notorious maximum security Sicotte prison. The centuries-old law last used to ground-up Japanese-American citizen during World War II, has since been targeted in a series of legal challenges. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals delivered a 2-1 ruling on Tuesday, saying Trump could not rely on the law to deport migrants in Texas and Mississippi. Still to come in the news. Lukman arrives Super Eagles camp in New York ahead of 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. On a business news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has appointed Andy Ode and Moronike Adewumi as the Chief Corporate Communications Officer and Chief Relations Officer. Ode's appointment comes 2 months after the resignation of Femi Soneye as NNPC's spokesperson. In a statement on Tuesday, the National Oil Company also announced the appointment of Moronike Adewumi as Chief Relations Officer. According to the oil firm, Ode has over 3 decades of extensive experience in communication and business administration across the oil and gas, advertising, and broadcasting industries. Before joining the NNPC, he had a 26-year-old career at Nigeria LNG. Still in business, the federal government is concluding arrangement to list 2 electricity distribution companies, Discos, and 1 generation companies, Genco, on the Nigerian exchange NGX. Director General Bureau of Public Enterprises Ayodeji Gbeleye, at his maiden media briefing yesterday in Abuja, said the government was considering unbundling its equity stake in 2 Discos and in Genco in first phase of transactions aimed at unlocking values and enhancing operating efficiency of national assets and state-owned enterprises. Adejobi, who was appointed by President Bola Tinubu mid-2024, said the unbundling would be done by offering part of government residual equity stakes in the 3 power companies to the investing public through initial public offerings. He said the transaction will involve parts of 40% equity stake and 30% equity stake jointly owned by the federal and state government in the Discos and Genco, respectively. On a health news, the Nasarawa state government has called on residents across the 13 local government areas of the state to fully key into the federal government's proposed immunization program to eliminate measles and rubella, which is to be launched in October. The Executive Secretary of Nasarawa State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Usman Salah, made the call in Lafia, the state capital, on Tuesday during an orientation exercise for journalists, which was organized by the agency ahead of measles rubella vaccination flag-off by the federal government. He noted that the meeting was geared towards providing journalists with the right information on the vaccine for onward dissemination to members of the public. Salah, who was represented by the Director of Immunization in the agency, Ismailia Oko, explained that misinformation had been the challenge of vaccine uptake, hence the need for media engagement. Let's move now to sports, where the duo of Ademola Lookman and Cyril Dessers have arrived at the Super Eagles camp in New York ahead of their Group C 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa. This was revealed by the team's media officer, Promise Efoge, today. According to Promise, 18 players are now in camp, while 5 more players are still expected. The Super Eagles will host Rwanda in New York on Saturday, September the 6th, before taking on South Africa 3 days later. Still in sports, Scottish Premiership champions Celtic have announced the signing of Kelechi Iheanacho. Iheanacho signed a 1-year contract with the option of an additional year. Recall that the Nigerian international left La Liga club Sevilla on Monday after his contract was terminated by the club. The 28-year-old scored twice in 15 appearances across all competitions for Roji Blancos. On entertainment news, Nigerian rapper and actor Folarin Falana, popularly known as Falz, has opened up about his views on marriage, previously following widespread speculations that he had secretly tied a knot. The rumors began after a series of traditional wedding-themed photos he shared online quickly went viral, with many fans believing they were from a real marriage ceremony. Falz clarified that the images were part of a photoshoot project, not an actual wedding ceremony. The rapper also stressed that he is under no obligation to share personal milestones with the public, adding that while he values his privacy, he has not completely ruled out the possibility of making his marriage public if love compels him to. And that's all we have for you at this time. To ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. You've been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Emidion James. Thank you for watching.
Spectrum